Hi everybody, happy Saturday afternoon. I'm a few minutes late, I apologize. So I am excited to be here again today. I'm trying to get my phone to do, or my laptop to do its thing. All right, so hopefully I'll be able to see comments. I see somebody's popped on, so say hello. That way I can see if my comments are working. Today I'm going to do a paper pumpkin alternatives. So I kind of sent you guys a sneak peek showing you that I used all of the little bits and pieces almost. What I still have a few labels. There's a big one and two medium size and two tiny labels. That's all I have left from this kit. I also have all of these pieces. Good morning, Barbara. Thank you for popping on. You're probably nice and warm in California. I'm still cold here in Michigan. I actually have a blanket on my lap. I also used some of this. This is what it was wrapped in. So when you opened your box, you had this beautiful gold tissue paper. So pretty. Because it was the, 10-year anniversary of Paper Pumpkin. Can you believe 10 years? Oh my gosh. Kind of surprising that it's been that long, and yet it seems like we've had it forever. So, okay, so here are the 3 cards that they had as the recommended cards. They're very pretty, just as they are. They're very cute. This one is a little bit different. I trimmed down this piece and I added some color to the edges just by scraping it on the little ink spot. And here is the 3rd one. So all by themselves, they're very cute. I mean, the kit was cute just doing it as is, as always. It came with a polished pink ink spot. This is one of our colors that may be retiring. I say maybe because generally the in colors, the 5 in colors that were 2021 to 23, all 5 would be retiring, which may be the case. But because there's going to be a whole revamp of all of our colors, the only colors I can be 99% sure are staying are the 5 in colors that run from 2022 to 2024. So that's where we are. Again, I'm going to remind you, if you need ink pads, cardstock, re-inkers, order them today. MemoryINKers.com will get you to my Stampin' Up! Website. Use this hostess code N as in Nancy 2, N as in Nancy, W as in Wayne 9, 6, Y as in Yo-Yo 6. If you have any questions, you can comment here, send me an email, whatever. Oh, it's only 59 there by you, Barbara. Wow. I'd take that here in Michigan, but we'll be having that soon. Also, this Paper Pumpkin, I've got some of the stamps out, but it came with, here we go. It came with just this stamp set, which says, "To a wonderful woman. Here's to another year of growth, to an incredible woman." I'm sorry, this is to a wonderful mother. I'm sorry. To an incredible woman. I think that says birthday, but I've got it on there. Birthday. You deserve the best. Mother's Day, and sending all our love, plus this nice little leafy thing. And then we got the awesome bonus set, which is actually, it's like my favorite. So there's like some Easter lilies, happy spring, Easter, anniversary, to call you friend, big leafy pattern, and a pot and some dots. So I did use some of these in some of the cards that I've already made. I've got a few of these out to do a few cards with you. Now I was going to do all the cards, just do them all. But I decided that it's just too much time. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put together a few of them. So the first one I'm going to do, I take this design, which you see, this is it, And then I've got this popped out little pot. And then I have the little flowers from here, and then the To an Incredible Woman. They're both on this pad. And what I'm going to do to start is I'm taking the embossing buddy and I'm just rubbing it on the front of the card. And then I'm going to use my Versamark. Whoops. And I'm going to ink up the saying and the little plant. And I'm going to put them so that the saying is on the top shelf and the flowers or leafy thingies. So I should have had a pad underneath there because that is photopolymer. So now I have those on there. And I'm sorry you're going to hear my my heater, but I'm going to add some gold embossing powder, and I want to show you guys this. I have this little 3-drawer thing. I have 2 of them, and I keep all of my embossing powder in them because look at how easy that is. I don't keep them in the little jars. I do occasionally, when there's some random thing, I do occasionally use the tray, but for my own purposes, you guys know how that is. If you go to crops and stuff, you do things differently than you do at your home craft table. So now I'm going to emboss, and I don't think my card will let me do that for you guys, but I'm gonna try. And I apologize for the loudness. Although our gun is pretty quiet, I think. So it's gonna take a minute. Part of that is because I keep all of this stuff, there it goes. I keep all of this stuff in my basement, and I swear I think the humidity might make a difference to it. Wow, that To Incredible Woman, that actually, I stamped that pretty straight. Y'all should be very impressed with me today that I was able to do that. So super simple, right? Now I've got this plant. And now all I'm going to do is take my little pot, and I'm gonna curl it a little bit, and then I'm just going to use a dimensional right in the center. I'm going to use this partial one, I think, right in the center, so that the pot kind of keeps a little bit of its curvature, gives it a little dimension. And there we go. Super simple, very similar. You notice I curved this pot as well. So very similar to that one. And then I think I do have another one with this one. I'm trying to decide what was I doing with this though. Let me grab my foam. I've had these out for a couple of days, but I've been super busy. So, oh, here's all the pieces I wanted. No wonder I'm confused. Okay, so I'm going to use, here's to Another Year of Growth. And I'm going to use the Garden Green. And I'm going to stamp that again on the top shelf. There we go. Now I have this strange little situation here that I'm doing. You know when you get your box from Paper Pumpkin, there are inside, sorry, I have all my envelopes and stuff in here, and the adhesives and the glue dots, but in here where they pop it together, that it pops out these little thingies. And for some reason, I had 3 of them, and I'm not sure where the third one came from. I don't know if it popped out of another box and ended up in mine, but I ended up with 3 of them. So if you only got one, I have your other one. Anyway, in case you did not see this, these are the awesome envelopes. They've got the back flap, nice and pretty. So, and then of course, this is what's coming next month, which y'all saw that. So It's very exciting. Oh, and look at this. Isn't this pretty? I did something similar, but not quite. All right, so let me move these back out of the way. All right, so now I've got these funny things. I have the white little pot that was popped out, the little pot that similar to the one I used there, and then this little bit of greenery. So I was trying to decide, what am I going to do with this one? So I decided that I wanted to put this pot on a shelf, but I didn't like it down here, and I didn't want it just like that. So I was looking at these things, and I thought, these look kind of like those, right? They kind of do. So that's what I'm going to do with them, because I'm using almost everything from this. You didn't get your kit yet, Meryl? I love this. I do. I'm a big fan of paper pumpkin. I really am. Okay. I didn't think about how to pick this thing up when I adhered it. Okay. And I have a little too much glue, I think, on this one. Do you guys ever do this? You feel like you have too much glue on one, so you just pop it onto another piece. So I'm going to set this kind of centered on this bottom, on this middle shelf here. And then I'm going to just use my snips, and I'm going to make this one just a tad shorter. Not a lot, just a tad shorter. Center it like that. And then this one, I am going to put some adhesive right there. And then I'm going to cut this one down too, to be even shorter. Okay, like so. Then I was trying to decide, what do you do when you cut off a piece? Well, you know, I don't want to waste it because it's kind of cool. So I'm just going to put it up on this shelf, on top of that pile, just to fill that one in a little bit. You don't, I mean, it's just a silly thing, but I thought, why not have them all there? So now I can take and put a little adhesive on the back of this greenery here so that it will stick to this pot. Now you want to look at these when you get them. There's a bumpy upside and a bumpy downside. The bumpy upside is the front. So I'm going to set that on there and curl it just a little again. Grab another dimensional piece and got a lot of glue there. Grab that and put it on top of these faux books that I created. So now it's sitting on them. And then this one, because I wanted to use every single piece, I didn't like it sitting on the shelf because it doesn't fit. Okay, so I'm going to grab a dimensional, and this one is going to be what I call on the floor in front of the shelf. So I'm going to put that off to the side. Nope, I forgot what I was doing. So it's just kind of sitting in front of the shelf. So there you go. There's another one made with that design. Okay, so I think I have all three. So the middle one is the original, and these two are my alternatives for this card. Okay, I know the box is so pretty, Meryl. And those little pieces just fell out, and I was like, I started to recycle them, and I went, no, there's got to be something I can do with them, right? Okay, so now we're going to grab this one. This is the one from Stampin' Up, and I'm going to show you, I already did an alternative with this. Oh, I'm getting glue everywhere. Oh, dear. But this is one where I just used a bunch, and this piece is actually this piece. I turned it over and I colored it with fresh freesia. Oh, that doesn't sound right. I think it was Highland Heather. I think it was Highland Heather to get that nice purple. And then I actually, this right here, this is not one of those. I didn't have enough. So let me show you. I took this and I had one of these left over and I traced it and then I cut it out. So on the back of this, you would see my trace lines. And then I just took the Highland Heather marker and I just drew lines in it. I mean, look at, now that I'm thinking about that, look at these pieces. This could be a vase too, right? You could color that and it could be a vase. Did not think of that, but absolutely you could make this a vase. Just trim it. Here, let me show you. You guys can probably see it, but if not, I will do it for you. I didn't cut that very well, but you get the idea. See, and then you could decorate this and it could become a vase as well. So, yep, it's very cool. So there's that one. So that's a secondary one. And then I'm going to do one more. Something just dropped. Hold on. My marker. Okay. All right. So now I am going to take a scrap and you guys ever put things away? I didn't want to use a brand new one. But I'm going to color, move that. I'm going to show you how I colored the leaf. This is that leaf, okay? So I am going to start with polished pink. And of course I have my awesome blending brushes. By the way, if you're interested, the smaller blending brushes, we have plenty of them. So if we run out of these, Stampin' Up! Just did an excess report and we have a lot of the small ones left. So I don't know that these are on back order, but I should have looked. So I'm just putting some pink in some different places on this, okay? Then I'm going to use Fresh Freesia. That's the color I used. Fresh Freesia. What is this one? Highland Heather. Okay, so I'm going to use some Fresh Freesia on here. And I'm going to add some purple in there. And I kind of want the purple to be very noticeable. So I'm trying to make it a little bit darker on some of these leaves. So just play. You got to be gentle because it could tear these, but when you move it away from here, you can see the different colors. And then of course you want some green because you kind of want it to match the other stuff, but instead of garden green, I'm using Coastal Cabana, which is closer to, that's more this color. So I kind of wanted some of that color in there. So let me grab some of that. Definitely want it on the stem. Not that that matters, because you probably won't see that much of the stem, but just in case. I want it on the tips of the leaves. And maybe a little bit here in the center. Just get some green going on it. So when you move it over, you can see now I have multiple colors. And look at how easy that was, right? Super simple to do that. Now, I have going to make, I'm trying to remember what I'm doing now. Oh yeah, I'm using this one. Okay, so now I want to put them all together on here, and I'm going to do something similar to this. This was done with, except for this one, which was colored. I'm going to do something similar, but I don't have more of these, so it's just going to be the one pot. Okay, Barb, I don't know when you sent that, but, okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I've grabbed all of the pieces, and here's a little trick for you. And I forgot to grab my Post-it note. There we go. Just grab a Post-it note, and then I'm going to lay everything out the way I think I want it. I'm going to put this one, because it's kind of plain, I'm going to put it in the back. So I'm kind of just playing right now to see how do I want this to look. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to put this one, let me take that one off for a minute. I'm going to put those together. Then we've got that one, and that one, and that one. Okay, so I have them all about the way I think I want them to go. That one's going to have to go a little lower to be inside the pot. Now, I'm going to take it and hope I didn't mess it up too much when I flipped it over. Grabbing a Post-it note. Oh, it didn't grab them all. But I grabbed, oh boy, that did not work the way it did for me earlier. All right, so you could do it this way, I guess. And yeah, it worked really well when I did the other one, you guys. When I did this one, it picked up every single one of them with the Post-it note. So, you know, just, you know, do as I say and trust that it worked. So instead of doing that, I'm going to go ahead and lay them all on here. But I had that cool trick for you guys, and it didn't work after all. Darn it. Don't you just get frustrated when that happens? I do. It's because I'm live, you guys. Seriously, live video makes for very strange outcomes. So I've just put a few little pieces on there. I'm going to set that off so that it kind of goes off like that. And then I want, oh, that's the color one, so I want to keep that one normal. I'm going to do the same thing with this, because I wanted this color, this kind of Coastal Cabana green. Wow, I'm getting a lot of flow out of that right now. So hang on while I dab off some of this adhesive, because it's a little much. Okay. And see, I like this because now it looks like it's the way the plant might grow. I still have a lot of, look, can you see how that's bubbling up? I've never had that happen. It's kind of weird. But it's making it easy to get my glue, right? I'm going to set that kind of right there. Kind of centered, kind of not. We're going to put a little bit of adhesive, a lot of bit of adhesive. Look at that craziness. So this is where you grab your other one and you kind of wipe it down a little bit, and you get some on your fingers, because that's how we crafters roll. Glitter and glue on our fingers is the way, am I right? So then we'll hold that one down, and now I have adhesive on this one. It's going to grow right up the center there. Again, just another pot. Now I did color a pot, so I'm going to show you guys how I did that. And I think that's in a card coming up, but I'm going to color this card, this pot just a little bit. Just going to give it a little bit of color. I don't want too much. I just want it on the edges, and I want to try and grab some of that raised part and see if it's going to let me color those pieces. It is kind of. Okay, so now my pot has just a little touch of color. Kind of, you know, you've seen variegated pots, and so it's just a little less boring than if it were all white. I don't know how to make this stop oozing, so I'm going to have a mess by the time this is over. I need to put the cap back on, but I'm busy. I'm busy, people. Again, some dimensionals on the back. Now this is a pretty simple paper pumpkin, but I just thought the alternatives were kind of fun. So now this one is going to go, because I set the flowers maybe a little low, it's actually going to be sitting in front of the windowsill, see, because I didn't want it up any higher. So there's these three. And you notice these two have no sentiments. Sometimes I like to make cards that don't have sentiments. Sometimes you just want something that you can send for any particular reason, and then you can stamp the inside or the outside with what you want. I call them emergency cards. So you forgot to make one for somebody. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it, Meryl. Okay, now we're going to go with this design. And, oh wait, let me do this piece first. Here we go. This is this background, right? And I thought it looks like a bookmark to me. So that is where I went with this. Hang on, let me close that before I really harm myself. So I am going to just punch a hole in the top with my handy dandy, been around forever and a day hole punch, which I think Stampin' Up! Used to sell them, but I don't think we have that size anymore. And honestly, with everything that's changing right now, I don't know what to think about what. So just a heads up, prices are changing also. There will be some price increases, just like everything else. The price increases, I assume, will not be as bad as the price increases of eggs, which have started to go back down, thank goodness. But I don't think it'll be that drastic. But there will be increases. So if you need envelopes, cardstock, if there's, you know, like I said, ink pads or inkers, the prices are going up. So it's a good reason to place an order. All right. So now, again, I have some more of the fernery, which this is just nuts. Hang on a minute. I need something to get this under control. So I am going to spread it on here, and then I'm going to try closing it up, because look at all that. That's just nutty. Let's see if I close it, if that'll help it any. So now I can just take this and just do little taps and get some glue on my leaves. I'm afraid I put them where they're going to be hanging off. I think I did. Yep, I did. So if you do that, like, see, I've got some there. Just, you know, turn it over and let it dry once you're done. So there is that. And then again, we're going to do well, actually, I'm not going to do a dimensional because this is a bookmark. I'm not going to do a dimensional. I am going to use tear and tape because I want this to stay and not pop off of the bookmark. And it will help hold in my leaves also. So, like that. Does anybody still read paper books? I like reading paper books. I'm a tactile person. Most crafters are. It's not that I can't read on my phone or my Kindle, or I don't even have a Kindle, my computer or whatever, but honestly, I like the feeling of having a book in my hand. I just like it. I like to fold the corners. I like to leave markers, like highlighters and stuff. Okay, so now you see I put on too much adhesive, right? We all know that I did that. So I should have pulled this off sooner. So now I've got adhesive, and I don't want this sticking to the inside of my book because that would not be good. So where did I put that? Here's the bag. There it is. I found it. So if you just take your embossing buddy and pat the back of that, it will no longer be sticky. And it'll smell good. Okay, so there you go. Now we have a bookmark, which I did with, and I would trim these to however length you want. You might want them that long, but it's up to you. So there's how I use that piece. And then here is, oops, hang on, this is one that's coming, I think. Here is my similar match to this. Did a little bit differently. I think this one's prettier, frankly. But I wanted you guys to see you could do it with just the stamps left over. And this is the stamp that does the pot. I just cut it out and I colored it. I shaded it a little bit to give it some dimension, just like they did here. And I just did Happy Spring. I think this would be beautiful for an Easter card. So if you got this set, this would be a gorgeous Easter card. Make yours look like that though, not like that. Okay, so there's one. And then this one, I want to make sure I'm doing the right thing. Why do I feel like I'm missing one of these? Oh, I know why, because it's over here. Okay, so before I finish with that, let me show you this card where I didn't know what else to do with that. So I cut it and put it on here. I created this out of one of the punch out labels. I embossed the hello there in gold, and this gold is the tissue paper that comes with the kit. Now here's my trick. When you go to cut it, it's very fine. So you can either sandwich it between two thin pieces of paper, like typing paper or something. That'll help you get a smooth edge. I actually just used some temporary adhesive and stuck the corners so that when I cut it, it held it in place. So that's my tip for that. So here's another way that I did that. And then I'm trying to remember if I did anything on the inside. Nope. Okay. So now you see that I used all three of the little giant label. All right. So now here is this. What was I doing with this one? Oh, there it is. Oopsie. Okay. So that one's coming. So now for this one, I'm just going to be super simple with it. And I am going to create, I'm missing a stamp that I should have here. So we're going to fake it. And I am going to pull out the birthday. Where is it? Here it is. And boy, is this one is dirty. We'll use this one. It's a little bit big of a block. It's kind of a big block for that. I think that one says birthday. It does. All right. So I'm going to take the Evening Evergreen. And stamp. I have to think about where this goes now. I better do that after the fact. Sorry, you guys. I create these things and then I set them all together like you see them, and sometimes I forget what am I doing with them. I just totally forget. Which is how a lot of my creations come out. It's true. All right, let's see if I can get this to not act stupid. Maybe if I close it right away, it will not. All right, so I'm just going to put this right in the middle of the gold. Okay. It's kind of hard to cover up those gold dots, right? Because they're just so cute. All right, now I want to put the happy on there because then I want to know where I'm going to put my birthday. What did I do? Oh, there they are. Okay. Keep losing stuff, you guys. Okay. And I'm going to put this kind of on an angle, like so. Hold it for just a second. Then I can take my birthday. I want to make sure that I'm doing it right. Yep. And I'm going to put it right there. So now I have a happy birthday card. with just some very simple floral. I think this is pretty, isn't it? I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's got little gold dots running through it. It's very pretty. So my thing is still oozing. I'm just gonna dab it while it's being weird. Set that there. Sorry. You guys are kind of quiet today, and I guess I'm being quiet too. I don't know why. I think I'm thinking about, I'm going after this upstairs to make some chicken pepper kosh for a dinner with my children tomorrow. I didn't think that through. These don't quite look right. And then here's the pot. Again, with a dimensional. So, and you can curl the ends again, make it little dimensional. There we go. So now we have this happy birthday, and I have one more. This one, I decided I did not want to leave it like that. So I think I turned this one this way. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to color this, because why not, right? Why not make it pretty? So we're just going to use our blend brushes again and blend away. Got some on my fingers, which I'm going to regret later when I try to pick stuff up. Oh, I'm not even going to worry about that big blob. I can always add more pink to it and blend it out. So I'm kind of getting the pink to kind of just run randomly throughout the card. And then, of course, grab the fresh freesia and random out some purple. Now the purple, I think, next to the pink is it's a very subtle color change, I think. I think it's very subtle. I don't know what you guys are feeling, but I kind of want most of these two colors to be the main part of it, but not all of it, because, you know, it would be a little boring, because like I said, they're very similar, right? So I'm going to grab the Coastal Cabana. And I'm going to run that through here. So it's starting to look like it's a little bit more mottled, right? A little bit more of a mottled coloring. Go ahead and run it on top of some of the other color. All right, this looks a little too pink, so I'm going to run some in there too, although some of that's going to be covered. Now, I like it. I think that's good. It's subtle, but you notice this has a lot of the dark garden green. So I'm going to go ahead and add some of the dark garden green just kind of around the edges of the card, just to give it a little bit more. I don't want to cover up the Coastal Cabana completely, but see, now look what I did there. I don't want that to continue, so I need to do something there just to kind of help blend it out. Put a little bit more green in here. Oh, I made another big blob. Okay, so now there I've got this weird little background, and you know, you play with it. I mean, you may not like the colors I've used, you know, that's okay. It's totally good. So now I'm going to take the Happy, and I'm going to use the mini dimensionals, and I am going to see if I can get them to fit. I'm not 100% sure they will. So these are the little edge, right? The little edge of the dimensionals. So I'm cutting them into small, like quarter size almost, of the actual dimensionals. That should be enough. We'll see. And then I can pop them off and use them in different places on the card, on the Happy, if they will get off my fingers. Get off my finger. And where does that one go? Right there. So they do have to, if you're going to do this, you do probably have to use really tiny little pieces, because they may show through. I'm doing my best not to let them, but that doesn't mean I'm going to be successful. So I'm not sure. I'll try that one there. And then maybe one more. Maybe I can get one right there. All right. So you have to, you know, you either have to cut them very tiny if you want more of them on there. Otherwise, you're going to just have to accept that you don't have dimensionals under your entire word. Okay. So I left my Take Your Pick tool on my main craft table again. Come off. Thank you. So, does anybody have any good plans for this weekend? Like I said, I'm going to be making chicken pepperkosh today, because it's always better the next day. Do you guys have any recipes like that? I mean, it's good. It'll be good today. My husband and I will eat it today too, but it's really good the next day when all of the sour cream and everything pops in there. So now here's my Happy, and then I have another little leaf that I'm going to pop on there. So if you do have any recipes like that that you just feel are better the next day, I would love to hear about it, because I definitely do. Like I said, pepperkosh is definitely one of them. It's my sister-in-law Diane's recipe, which I think she got from her mother. It's so good. Anyway, I used some more of the tissue paper you can see back here on this to call you friend, and then one of the longer labels, and some dimensionals on the back of this. I'm going to do 3, I think. Here we go. And then now I've got Happy to call you friend. So there you go. These are the 3 that I did. This is the original, and here's 2 more. And then I took this piece and made a bookmark. And, oh, where did this come from? This fell off of something. This came off of something. I don't know. I bet it goes in here. It does. Silly Carrie. I thought that looked a little plain, because I knew I used every single piece. So let me slide that in there. Ah, better. Okay, so there are my alternatives for you. Here's this batch right here. And then, of course, this kind of goes sort of with it. Then there are these 3 Stampin' Ups and my 2. And Stampin' Ups and my 2. Again, this used those little pieces that fell out of the box, and this was embossed. These 2 pieces were embossed. So there you go. Those are my paper pumpkin alternatives for the March 10-year anniversary paper pumpkin. If you do not belong to paper pumpkin, you should. I know paper pumpkin's going up in price. I know. So my suggestion to you is, if you are a paper pumpkin fan, go and buy the at minimum the 3-month pack, or the 6-month, or the 1 year. I know it's an investment, but you'll end up saving money in the long run. Okay, so I just wanted you guys to know that. All right, you guys have a blessed and wonderful weekend. I hope y'all are doing great. See you later.